Hi, my name is Matthew Smith. I'm 22 years old. Right now I currently reside in Wake Forest, North Carolina, and I go to school at Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, and I'm a current grad student there. Oh yeah, okay, my goals for the future. I plan to get married someday, settle down, have some kids, but as far as current goals is to graduate from Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary with my Master's of Divinity degree in Christian ministry, and then hopefully find a job somewhere. As you know by now, I'm living with obsessive compulsive disorder. I want to be on this show because I want to show others out there that have the same disorder that I have that they can live perfectly normal lives with it, and I want to be an encouragement to them. Yes, I'm a little bit different, but there's nothing wrong with being different. And I know that through my struggles, and I know in the future that I'm going to be able to help people out that have this same difficulty as I do. But I know, this difficulty, people can overcome it. It's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Some of my OCD obsessions are my major. Well, my big thing is what causes me to do my touching different things and certain things like that, and retyping has to do with these bad thoughts that I have, whether something bad happening to somebody in my family, or something bad happening to me, or somebody I love, and something in general, just something bad happening. Like if I don't type this, retype this word 4 times, then somebody in my family is going to die in a car wreck tomorrow. I know it's irrational, but it comes with the disorder. My other big thing is it happens with high school. I just had a bad experience. I wasn't really a popular kid. Of course, I wasn't really nerd either. I was sort of in between. I called myself a loner, just whoever basically needed me, who would be willing to hang out with me or whatever. But I had some bad experiences with some teachers, and that just threw me over the edge several ways. I did get really depressed at one time, and I think it's before then I tried to commit suicide. But that was just a really tough time for me, and I've been able to block it out of my memory, most of it. But it still comes back sometimes when I do have it. It's the same thing as what happens when I think somebody in my family might die if I don't do this. So it's basically the same thing. Some of my rituals, most of these happen to do when I'm really anxious, sort of like anxiety attacks, sort of. But here, I'll show you. For instance, I'm wearing short sleeves right now. If I were to touch my elbow to the edge of this couch, I'd have to touch it with my other elbow. Then I'd have to touch it with this elbow again, and then this elbow, because that's 4 touches, and they're even, because there's 2 on this one, 2 on this one. Another thing is, I don't know if you have pretty neat and orderly for the most part. Like right now, I just have these 2 pieces of paper on this little desk, you want to call it. Another thing is light switches. Sometimes I have to flip them on and off 4 times. I'm really anxious. Right now I'm having to touch that knuckle, so I have to do it with this one. Not necessarily flip the switch, but touch my knuckles to it, which I don't really understand. Of course, I don't understand most of the things I do. Some of the other things I do, stepping in and out of rooms when I'm anxious, sometimes I have to go like this. I do it 4 times. Because 4 is my number. Another thing that's really big in my life is Purell. I don't know, without it I wouldn't know what to do. It sort of, to me, my thoughts, it sort of cancels out the effects of my OCD. Like with the elbow thing, I normally have to put Purell on my elbows. I don't know why, just an OCD thing. Also, whenever I know I mentioned earlier about the high school thing, a big thing, which I can't show here because unfortunately I'm not at home, big thing is I have these sections sort of quarantine in my house, so to speak, in my mind. Like certain couches I can't sit on because my sister or I sat on it when I was in high school. My sister just finished high school, and she went to the same high school I went to. And she would sit on it, and it's just unclean, and I couldn't sit on it. Certain things, anything that had to touch, like my parents. If my parents hugged my sister, I couldn't hug them, I couldn't touch them, I couldn't kiss my mother goodnight. Because she had hugged my sister earlier, who was still infected with school germs, as I like to call them. Another thing is I'm very, I guess my routine, I do the same thing every day, and it bothers me when I don't. It's hard to explain. I can't really explain it. Besides, like, I go and exercise twice a week. When I do, I have to do everything the same time, same amount of time. Try to do the same, like if I'm doing a treadmill, try to do exactly the .01, the 100th on a treadmill, and do it in the exact amount of time, like 4.52 miles or something like that. I have to do that in exactly 60 minutes. A certain number of bench presses, certain crunches, everything like that. Classes, I sit in the same seat every time. Just doing papers, I have to be very exact. Like I just finished tomorrow. Okay, like for instance, the papers. Tomorrow I have to turn in a book review. This book review, normal people would probably be taking 2-3 pages. Mine's 17. Just because I had to be so thorough and exact. And this is a book review, and the book's only about 60 to 70 pages long. And my book review is 17 pages, double spaced. Let's see here. Rewriting. I've already mentioned earlier rewriting sentences, the bad thoughts, and they all have to come with bad thoughts. If I don't have those bad thoughts, then I can do them just fine. Which medication suppresses those thoughts, and so I'm able to do more. For instance, when I'm driving, sometimes if I'm driving by somebody on the sidewalk, walking the sidewalk or by the side of the road, I look back and see if I hit him, which I know I didn't, because there would obviously be a dent there with blood. It's just one of those things I do. Another thing is, I go over to my brother's apartment on the weekends when I'm here in North Carolina, and he's a very disorganized person, and his place is a mess. And several times I've actually cleaned his whole apartment because he wouldn't do it. A lot of times I can sort of deal with it and put up with it, but as soon as I come back here, I have to take a shower and just get rid of that mess and just because I can't stand with that mess being there.